Welcome to another episode of Shit Your Mama Should Have Told You and More. I am the host and storyteller for the day. And again, we don't normally do this, but I think after yesterday, my youngest son wanted to know more about my secret life. So I'm going to tell him a little bit more. And hopefully you guys will get a little bit of an insight into who I am and why we started this podcast. Yeah, that's it. So, hi, Aiden.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You gonna yawn today?
No.
You gonna sound corny today and unrealistic?
Mornings are kind of hard for me. I don't like getting up.
I don't fucking understand that because I have been waking your ass up for the last 18 years at 6 and 7 in the morning. So I don't understand why the fuck you all of a sudden can't get up in the morning.
They're just hard.
Okay.
People
anyway.
I don't know. I don't like getting up early.
Well, here we are.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we talked about how you wanted me to tell more. And the few listeners that we had yesterday gave reviews and said, you know what, we'd like to hear more about that secret life.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to talk about it a little bit. So I'm going to tell you a story, and then I want you to give me your feedback. And as usual, we have a therapist on standby, speed dial. She's ready if you need to talk to her.
All right.
Okay, so here we go. Once upon a time, a long time ago, I was a hoe. And I'm admitting it because I did the shit. I don't remember who I can credit for those lyrics, but who was that?
I know that song, but I don't know who's. I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay, well,
But
whoever.
I know that song you're talking about.
Okay, so I used somebody's lyrics, but they were really true to my story. So I was working in a massage parlor early on at 19, and then I evolved into working in a massage parlor, another massage parlor, but it was Asian massage parlor. And so I was there, and they were like, "We have a place in Hempstead, New York. Look it up. There's some facts on this one. I'm about to tell you, my robbery. Everything I'm telling you, everything I tell y'all, you can fact check."
Yeah.
So anyway, there's so much gun violence going on, and I'm not glorifying it. I'm simply telling my story of what happened to me and why sometimes you hear me say, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, I don't want you in the stores at this time, I don't want you doing this at this time, because I have my own personal experiences. So I was working in this place in Philadelphia on 18th Street. It was actually owned by the same guys who own the place in Northeast that I talked about yesterday. But then they sold this place downtown Philadelphia to these Asian folks. And so they came in and they were super nice. I learned how to make like anchovies with rice and kimchi, and I fell in love with that kind of stuff. But anyway, it was a whole different story. I digress. So they were like, we have a place in, New York. You want to go work? And I was like, oh, okay. So they loaded us up. Actually, they loaded me up. I don't know why they took me only, because I was maybe the only black person working in their place in Philly. And it was just a massage parlor. It was like a massage parlor with hand job optional. And so what happened was I got to Hempstead, New York, and I was there that day. And, I always have had issues with my stomach. Like, it's flaring up, like, right now. Anyway, so I get there, and I had the bubble guts all day long. So I'm laying on there. I'm like laying on a pallet on the floor. And I'm like, oh, my stomach is hurting. So she was like, they call me Wanda. And I'm not trying to do racial shit. I'm just trying to imitate the story so you will understand exactly what happened. And so she would be like, Wanda, we need you to do this and this and this and this. And my Asian accent is terrible. But anyway, so it was like 11 o'clock at night. And I had been laying on this floor all day, belly just aching, shitting every minute, going back and forth. And so, excuse me. So at this point, it was so how they did it was they rotated who was answering the door. And that was like, you answer the door, you get the call. You get to make the money. So you might get the jackpot. You might have somebody that wants to stay 5 hours, 10 hours, 100 hours, or whatever. And so it was my turn. I had a couple of turns, and I had passed. And then it was my turn to open the door, and I was like, fuck. And so I told this girl, I was like, please just open the door. I'll take care of whatever needs to be done, but just please open the door. So the girl comes back. One day, he wanted to see you. And I'm like, fuck. Who in Hempstead, New York wants to see a black bitch? Like, you know, in this area, y'all don't even have black people here normally. But I guess that's why. So I go upstairs, and it's this fat fuck that's there. And we're talking, and he paid his fee. And so I said, oh, my stomach starts bubbling because I'm moving around now. So I got to go take a shit. So I walk literally. It was a big house with like a wide staircase. So as I'm walking past this wide staircase, this guy is coming with his finger over his mouth with this big shiny ass motherfucking gun. And he's looking at me like, bitch, you better not say a motherfucking word. And I'm like, I already got a shit. What is going the fuck on? And so, actually I was coming back because I went to the bathroom. And so I'm coming back and he's like, So he comes up, he's running up the stairs. So there was a home invasion that happened. I was butt ass naked, straight, like walking through, like come from the bathroom. Why the fuck is your face looking like that?
This story is just interesting. These stories are just, I don't know. So you were at the massage parlor.
This is true. Do you think it's not true?
No, you told me something like this happened before. Because I remember you saying the same thing. You were walking from the bathroom and you were at somebody's house. Mm-hmm. But this was in New York.
This was in New York.
Okay, you did tell me that.
But I didn't tell you it was at a hoe house, at a massage parlor. I just told you I was at somebody's house.
Oh.
See, you were too young to know then where it really happened. So how it happened was I was at this massage parlor and it was being robbed. Because imagine, like, who the fuck does that at somebody's house? Like, that don't make sense. I mean, home invasions do happen at people's houses. I'm not going to minimize that. But I'm just saying, like, the details. But you were too young. And I don't even remember why I even told you that back then. It was something we were talking about guns, right?
Yeah.
So I always talk to them about guns and how terrified of guns I am. I'm a registered gun owner, but I'm still terrified of guns, not just because of this situation, but mainly because of this situation. So anyway, I'm walking back across the stairs. This motherfucker's come with his finger like to shh me with one hand and a gun pointing at me at the other hand. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck? I ain't never seen nothing like this. You know, I was a black girl from North Philly. I've never been exposed to any of this. I mean, okay, I was raised in Yorktown, and, you know, it was the upper echelon of the poor in the hood. But we didn't see guns. And so what happened was I just was there like, oh, my God. And so he calls me. He's basically summoning me down. What he's trying to do is secure the house. That's what it seems like. So it was like 5 or 6 of them. So he brings me downstairs, butt ass naked, and sits me on. I'm like, oh my God, my stomach is hurting. He's like, what the fuck are you doing in here? And I'm like, I guess I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he sits me on the sofa and opens the window directly behind us. And it's fucking dead of winter, like freezing degrees, like 90 degrees below. It's so fucking cold because it was not regular New York. It was a little bit upper New York. Anyway, I'm sitting there with nothing on and freezing, and he's trying to do an interview. He's like, what's your name? And I was like, Remel. And he's like, where you from? And I was like, Philly. And I'm like, this motherfucker get ready to blow me away after he asked me all these questions. And he was like, you have any kids yet? I was like, I do have one son. And I was like, you know, his birthday's coming up. If I live that long. And Rasan was going to turn 6, I think.
Yeah.
And so maybe he was 5. He was going to turn 6. So I was like, oh, God, help me. And I'm sitting there butt ass naked. And I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So they take me, he and another guy take me into the bathroom so I can shit. And they're standing there like, bitch, come on. They open the window, and I'm farting up a storm, and it's like, it's gas. It's gas flying everywhere, but no shit would come out because I was so fucking nervous. You know, your system sinks, just shuts. That sphincter shuts the fuck down when you get nervous. It's like either you shit everywhere or you shit nowhere. And I couldn't even shit, and I was like, this is unusual because I had to shit a few minutes before. And so I was like, my stomach had been hurting all night. And so I'm sitting there like, oh my God, on the toilet. I better produce some shit because they're going to fucking shoot me if I don't because they think I'm playing them. And I was looking at this little ass window that even a 50-pound dog couldn't fit through. And I was like, God damn it, I want to get up and go through that window, but I didn't. And so I sat there and one motherfucker said, this bitch is playing with the gun. There's one at the door and one standing in front of me at the toilet. And the one at the door said, this bitch is playing. I'm like, no. I've been having stomach issues all night. Meanwhile, they're beating the shit out of the girl who answered the door. It was my turn to answer the door that time, but I had skipped so many times that the rotation changed. So now I'm in the room.
Yeah.
And so when they opened that door on her, I'm gonna jump back to what happened in the bathroom. When they opened the door on her, they smashed her in the head with a hammer. Start taking her around the fucking house. She was an Asian girl, so sweet. She lived. She survived. They beat her in the head. It was 6 of them. They jumped her, and then they just started robbing the house. And they were taking her and the mama-san, the woman who was there to cook for us, feed us, keep it clean. They took them around the house looking for the money that these motherfuckers had stashed in the wall. I ain't even seen that kind of money. I'm like,
They found the money in the wall?
They found lots of money in the wall. Yeah, they was beating the girl in the head. Every time she told them to do something and she was lying, they hit her in the head with the fucking hammer. They hit her hard enough to kill her, but they hit her hard enough to hurt her.
Damn.
So meanwhile, I dodged that bullet. Thank you, Jesus. Anyway, so I'm sitting on the toilet ready to stink these motherfuckers out, but ain't nothing happening. So they're like, this bitch is playing. And I'm like, are we serious right now? Like, the shit is not happening. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get the fuck out of here, if I'm going to survive. And my stomach was hurting so bad. So anyway, they take me back. Finally, I didn't shit. And they took me back in the living room. They literally was watching me wipe my ass and everything. So they take me back into this main living room area. And I'm there. And they got all of us. They tell everybody to lay down on the floor. I'm like, what the fuck? Never been through this. So they about to kill us all. And my stomach is bubbling. Like, it's like literally bubbling, but ain't nothing happening but gas. Yeah. So they like, lay down. And I'm like, I still gotta go to the bathroom. And they're like, no, bitch, you're not going back to the bathroom. You're gonna lay right the fuck here. So now I'm thinking, here I am in my I'm not even 20. I think I was 20, maybe. Yeah, I was 20 or a little over 20. Now I'm about to shit my pants on the floor. I mean, shit my ass. I ain't even had no pants on. I was butt naked. I'm about to fucking shit on the floor right here in this living room. It had me fucked up. It meant it. Listen, let me tell you. Then the guy says, the one guy, the one who had been standing in front of me, but he hadn't been saying anything. He was just there. So he says, so he covered me with a hospital-like blanket. They had these blankets that had holes in them. I don't even know where the fuck they came from because I don't even know if that was part of the whole attire, like on the bed, like hospital-like blankets. I don't remember those. I remember comforters, but I don't remember these blankets. Anyway, these blankets from somewhere, they put these blankets and spread them over all of us. They had broken the shoulder of the guy.
The fat dude?
No, wait, the fat dude turned out to be a fucking cop. So either I was going to jail or I was going to die that night. One of the two. They came down those stairs and was like, that motherfucker is a cop. I was like, who? And they were like, that fat motherfucker is a cop. And I'm thinking, oh, shit, we all about to die now. What you going to do? You got a cop, you robbing a place, and he can identify you. They ain't even had no mask on or nothing. So we all about to die. So they made us lay face down, covered us with blankets. And the guy said, you better not motherfucking move. And then he said, the next guy said, it was 5 of them. Some of them didn't say much at all. They just was beating the other bitches around. Finally, when they felt like they got all the money, they put us all in the living room. And then they're like, we should just spray this motherfucker like we did the last place.
Yeah.
Now I'm just sitting there like, I'm about to die for real. I've been thinking the whole time I'm going to die. And so I started hearing people walk away. And, of course, I'm turned to the side because my stomach is fucking hurting. I can't just lay flat down. I've got the bubble guts and shit. I'm turned to the side. Anyway, they say, so they start disappearing one by one. They left. Nobody got shot, but people got fucked up. And I thank God every day that I lived. So see the next day. As soon as the motherfuckers was going, I heard all those cars screeching. I got up and said, bitch, take me back to Philly. I'm fucking done. How the fuck you got some shit like this? You don't have no security. Oh, I was so fucking mad. I could have lost my 20-year-old life.
That's so crazy.
Like that shit happened for real.
Yeah, you definitely, I don't know. It was something watching over you that day.
It was somebody watching over me. God was watching me that day for real. That motherfucker was doing an interview like, oh yeah, bitch, we're gonna, what's your name? Where you at? And he had the gun pointed at me the whole time. Like I'm sitting here, what's your name? And I was like, oh, he about to start shooting. Nobody got shot. People did get fucked up. And that bitch got back home. And I never fucked with them again. Them motherfuckers was crazy. I was like, oh. And the bitch that called me telling me, you want to come to work? Bitch, you, what? Goodbye.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my story of Hempstead, New York, which I'll fucking never, ever go to again.
That's scary. I don't even know. Hempstead. Where is Hempstead?
Hempstead, New York is like outside of North. I don't know. Fuck. It took us like 2 hours to get there instead of an hour and a half from Philly. So it's a little bit outside of the New York area. Maybe it took a little bit longer. Let me see where Hempstead, New York is so I can be a little more appropriate. So Hempstead is East Rockaway, up, Lakeview. Well, I don't even know. It was in Hempstead. I don't know if I was in East Hempstead. Well, let's say it's probably an hour or so. Anyway, that's my story of how I almost lost my life in Hempstead, New York. Any questions?
No, but that shit is crazy.
It is.
That is a wild story.
It really happened. It really happened. You almost wasn't here.
That's crazy.
You or Morgan.
That's crazy how just life works.
Yeah, I think
coincidences. Because if you would have opened the door, you probably would have been the first one to get hit.
And sure enough, they probably would have been shot. Like, what this black bitch do? It wasn't nobody there but Asians. It was all Asian women.
Asians, and then the fat dude was white.
Well, the customers were white, but all the working people there that would have opened the door.
How did they know he was a cop?
I don't know. They probably seen him before. They was like straight criminals. When they said that they said the fat motherfucker is a cop. I said, oh, and I knew that I had just come out the room with the fat motherfucker. So I was like, oh my God, are they fucking serious right now? Like, is this real life?
So I want to know about the process after that. Where you stood up, you said, take me home. One of them had brain damage. One of them was messed up. The other dude was...
The guy that had the fucked up shoulder had to drive me back. He was the husband or the boyfriend of the woman who owned the place. It was a woman who owned it. And she, her and him had to drive me back. When I tell you that car was silent, I could hear a rat piss on cotton in there. That's how silent it was. Because what you going to say after you done brought me up here, and the first day you bring me up here, the place gets robbed?
Oh, that was the first day?
The first fucking day.
Oh, damn.
Like, I might have got there in the middle of the night. And so during the day, my stomach was hurting. I was doing what I was supposed to do. But at one point I just couldn't do it no more. I was like, my stomach is fucked up. I got to lay down. I can't answer the door. I can't do this. And so I would let people say, they would say, Wanda, it's your turn to open the door. And I'd be like, you can take it. Because then that meant it was more money for them. That's what they were there for. For me, I was just there doing a favor to the owner, so because I would be something different in the community. Or not in the community. Oh, damn. Don't I sound like a community activist? It's in the community. I mean, in their environment, it would be different. So that's really what I was there for. But my stomach was hurting so daggone bad, I wasn't thinking about nothing.
Yeah, that's a crazy. That's scary.
It was wild. So it's always left me with a fear of home invasions. So henceforth, the conversations that I've had with you about like coming in the house at 4 a.m. and motherfuckers pushing your door. We have this thing at our house right now, y'all. And we've done this for years. I've talked about this for years. And you can probably attest to this. That I'm like, if somebody, Lord, this is going to sound so real ridiculous. So don't come for me. I say that to y'all a lot. Don't come for me. So we live in the city of Atlanta right now. And so I've always told Aiden, if somebody tries to force you in the house, because we have like a little gate code or whatever, I was like, don't let them do it, because they're going to kill us all when they get in here and make them shoot you on the porch, because they're not going to do that. What's the likelihood of that happening? But basically, we have this thing where it's like, I've always been concerned about home invasions, and that's the reason. Because I know it's possible.
Right.
So, anyway, y'all. Yeah, I'm going to let that sit there and marinate just a little bit with you. Be careful out there. This was years ago, but we live in Atlanta, and the shit is real. Home invasions are very real.
Still happening.
Big time. And so I'm scared every day. Anyway, follow us on YouTube, symstytv, right?
Symsty Plus.
Symsty on YouTube?
Yeah, Symsty Plus.
Okay. And Instagram?
symstytv.
And on Twitch?
symstytv.
Facebook?
Symsty.
All right. Y'all got it. More story time to come. Hope you enjoy.
Bye.
Deuces.